SuperTalk Mississippi media production.
A legendary outdoor store in Cleveland, Mississippi is selling everything in a 5-day online-only auction. Vintage fishing and hunting gear, archery, muzzleloaders, jewelry, toys, signs, and more. Bidding starts Friday, July 24th at 9 a.m. Shop now at ynlauction.com.
Roll pre-record on my count. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Roll A, fade up on A.
Southern Miss to the top. You're tuned in to the Eagle Hour.
Live from the Southern Bancorp studio in Oak Grove in West Hattiesburg on the west side, I'm Kelly Sander along with Dima Mixon and Bob Getty, who will be joining us momentarily. The first segment of the program today brought to you by Dickey's Barbecue Pit. Smoked here, loved everywhere for your next catered event, big or small. Trust the professionals at Dickey's Barbecue Pit. Something that Hattiesburg is fortunate to host, at least for the last recent memory that I can think of, that DCI, Drum Corps International, will be performing at M.M. Roberts Stadium tomorrow night. And here to tell us about some of the best drum corps units in the country, Mike Lopinto, who's a director of music and theater and just about marketing at Southern Miss, is here to tell us about it. And Mike, first of all, I think people who are, if you really like marching band music, and I hope I'm not insulting the term when I say marching band music, these are the best drum and bugle corps across the country. But let's define what a drum and bugle corps is.
So a drum and bugle corps actually comes out of a military tradition. And we still have major service organizations have a drum and bugle corps, the Marine and drum and bugle corps being the most famous. And it was specifically bugles, which were G-pitched instruments for all those band people out there, and drums. And eventually there was a color guard, very much like a procession of the national flag and state flags and things like that. It was very much, that's how it was presented, very military, very formal. And over the years, different organizations, Boy Scouts and different troops of different foreign legions and veterans organizations did similar things. And so we had those kinds of groups forming their own groups. And as things develop over the years, people started adding more and more things to this. And it became a little more like, we'll do more drill design, then we'll play a little more music. And then, it'd be great if we had some instruments that were a little more flexible than bugles, so they added valves. And then suddenly valves led to, why don't we just make the B-flat instruments that sort of the most marching bands all use these days, B-flat and C instruments. So they've switched to a lot of those now, changing the tone of it, which allowed more flexibility of what they could play. And then drill writers and designers got involved, and color guard spun out into this whole dance organization that people spin and do things. And this truly has developed, and what's coming here is sort of the Olympic level athlete of these performers. These are the best of from around the world, literally around the world, that come to be part of these different units that are formed still all over the country and internationally. There are international units as well. And they put on shows that will just astound you now.
And to put it in sports terms, I mean, there are teams ranked in, like football, for example. You got two of the top drum and bugle corps.
2 of the top 3 are here this week, and there's about 2 more that are in the top 10 that are here, as well as some other strong contenders and some regional favorites as well that are placed very well many times and are really growing. It's an amazing event.
And it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how hot it's going to be. The place always has huge crowds at the Rock.
It absolutely. There's usually about 10-ish thousand people that come. Depending on who's there, people really follow this. Schools come because it is really one of the inspirations of a lot of the marching band you see today. They have seen and see what these corps do, and they take that back to their programs many times. Some to more of a fault, they try and do these things because you have to realize, like, I passed the Blue Devils, who are one of the top corps. They're out in the sun now on the way here working, and they find shade and they do different things where they're doing sectionals and different things, but they all come together usually early in the morning and then late in the evening to practice and put together all the things they've worked on. But these people are, one, the highest level musicians and performers that many of them have done. By the time they make the top corps, they have done other corps or been with this corps for some time. So it's not like it's new. It's like professional actors or professional athletes. They don't just all of a sudden, show up at the NFL having never played football before. It's that kind of thing. These people have trained and worked like this. Many of them are professional musicians, training to be professional musicians in college. And then they're working 8, 10, 12 hours a day through the summer, touring on buses all over the country, working their way to championships. Will be in Indianapolis this year, but they just finished a major regional championships where all of the corps from all over the country come together. It was in San Antonio. They split up and they go on tours all over the country. One of them is fortunate enough to come here to Southern Miss and has been for at least 10 years, I think we've determined. It's been quite a while that they've been coming. And they're working, I think, their way to Atlanta. And then they keep going. And then there's a championship in just a few weeks in Indianapolis where they all come together and they do prelims and semifinals and all the things to get to a finals champion. And it really is stunning.
And one point of things that I just wanted to mention, my wife and I went and saw Newsies, and it was just phenomenal. I know this is not what we're talking about today, but I just wanted to mention that show, you kind of go into one of those shows, you're like, oh, I know this isn't going to be Broadway. It's still going to be good by all means, but I went in, was just blown away by that cast and the choreography and all those things. But I wanted to ask you, just for our listeners' sake, band, it's so popular. I don't think people understand. I obviously cover a lot of high schools in the area outside of Southern Miss, so I see it at all these high schools and stuff. But this is a big deal. Maybe kind of lean into that a little bit more about just how big this competition is. Not only this competition, but band in general. Sure,
people come from all over the world to be part of drum corps, but band in general, I think, is one of those things for people. One, it's large scale. You can have hundreds of people in a band and band programs, but one, the musical talent, and you look at all the things about, studying music and being part of music and how it really helps you all the way around. We were talking off air about just the arts and the importance of the arts and sort of developing you, whether you go into that professionally or not. But that plus the athletic side of it as well. When you really get into marching and doing this, you're learning about team. It's just like any sport. It's team dynamics. It's the athleticism and the ability to be able to, one, carry an instrument, play an instrument, and do it with some sort of uniformity that matches all these other people. It really is a group and team kind of dynamic. Plus, it's an artistic part of it. The things that people are doing on the field now and shows, whether it's an HBCU doing some just really fun music and dancing with what they do, to military bands. Your Texas A&M is probably the most famous one right now. The pinpoint accuracy with which they do that, and then you have these sort of drum corps influence style that do horror shows and jazz shows and pop shows and contemporary music, classical music. It's just all over the board what you can experience.
Now, Mike, will these drum and bugle corps teams be performing tomorrow night or actually competing?
It is actually a competition. There are judges coming all around. And I was telling you just before we started, too, my weird claim to fame that doesn't mean anything in these days, but I was very involved in the winter guard portion of this, which is the color guard side of it. And years ago, they brought over a bunch of judges into drum corps. And so I judged for DCI for many years and was a part of that. And just when I got a full daytime job, a big boy job, I had to kind of stop doing some of that. My travel was limited. But a lot of my friends are actually still judging. And I wrote a couple of them this morning and said, so you're going to be in Hattiesburg, I see.
So let's talk about the format tomorrow night and what fans will actually see tomorrow night.
Sure. Each show runs in the 10-minute range, 10 to 12 minutes, and they will come in and they're basically put in order of reverse scores from their previous year, basically. I think that's the general rule. There may be a little bit of a variation on that. But you'll see some younger groups that are newer to the activity. You'll see a couple that are building programs that are coming through, and as you build up until some of these really like super high-end professional corps. And they come with their corporate sponsors and their, everything that you would see in an NFL team, all of those kinds of things. Designers and arrangers and publishers, and they are about honing a show over multiple competitions. It's sort of it's similar to NFL team working through the season and going to different games and hoping to get a seed. This is score based, and so they want to be seeded in a way that gets them into that top echelon by the time they get to a championship show at the end.
And I would imagine that that from here, do they? Well, you mentioned the in Indianapolis what's going to take place there, But the athletes we talk at the college level want to be professionals. The musicians, who, as you mentioned, are the very best in the world, what would be next on the ladder for them?
A lot of them will go on to teach in these drum corps for the next generation. Some of them go on to become band directors, educators in different levels, and want this experience to be able to work with even high school and collegiate programs that are doing these kinds of things. And so it's very much a on-the-job training sort of badge of honor. So you can say, I need somebody to do my corps or something. I march with the Blue Devils, and suddenly people go, oh, well, I should hire you for this.
And very quickly, how did Southern Miss, and they love coming to Southern Miss, the teams, how did Southern Miss secure this?
We are really one of the most amazing music schools. And that's not just being, tooting our horn. We turn out some of the most amazing performers, and our alumni and students are out there doing this. Probably every corps has a Southern Miss lineage person on it somewhere. If not, multiple of our students are marching, from people directing corps and being part of it. And just over the years, we have become one of the places to be here. It's also a great stadium and a great venue. We can get around easily, and it works for them.
Tickets, you have to go through the DCI website. I think it's dci.org.
DCI.org.
Okay, and get your tickets, and I think it starts tomorrow night at
7 o'clock is the opening room. The opening of the show. You are going to get there, so you can get in the stadium, get your seats, and check out all the merch and the fun stuff that helps support them along the way. There's some really cool stuff you can get.
DCI.org. The best drum and bugle corps teams in the country will be in Hattiesburg at the Rock tomorrow night. DCI.org for more information. Mike Lopinto, thanks so much for sharing it with us.
Thank you.
When we come back, General Jeff Hammond, former athletic director at Southern Miss, will join us. The Eagle Hour continues in a moment.
Big news from Robinson Electric Supply in Laurel. We've moved. You'll now find us directly behind our old building, right by Sawmill Animal Hospital. We're still your trusted electrical distributor, carrying everything from conduit to tape. And don't forget our full line of Milwaukee tools. Whether you're a contractor or a DIY pro, stop by the new Robinson Electric Supply at 1222 West 6th Street and see what's lighting up Laurel. Robinson Electric Supply. New location, same trusted service.
Thank you, Bob.
The Eagle Hour. Southern Miss to the top.
Hey, welcome back to the SuperTalk Eagle Hour. Bob Getty, Kelly Sander. That's your name, isn't it? And Dima and I are joining the show now. I want to thank Mike Lopinto for coming in. That's a big band deal going on at the campus, and we like to give publicity to everything Southern Miss related. Good night tomorrow night, Kelly.
Man, some of the best. I mean, if you like marching band music, you want to see some of the top, most precision run bands. It's really a fantastic show.
Hey, it's my privilege this week to release a podcast with our next guest. It's General Jeff Hammond, former athletics director here at University of Southern Mississippi, former team captain and quarterback of the Golden Eagles. Excuse me, and of course a two-star general, retired, and former commanding officer of the 4th Army Infantry in the war in Iraq. General, great privilege always to have you on the show, and I want to publicly thank you for taking the time to sit down and talk to me on the podcast. It's gotten a huge reaction. You got a lot of fans out there, General.
Wow. Well, hey, Bob, talking to you anytime is always a delight. I seem to learn something every time, and if they're Golden Eagle, they bleed a little black and gold, I'm a fan of them.
Yeah, well, no question. Hey, before we get to Southern Miss and all, I know that the military is a massive part of your life, and we've suffered some more casualties over the weekend in the conflict overseas. I know that your heart hurts every time you hear that, but what do you say about those young patriots that just gave their lives to the country, General?
Wow, they're the best of our society. They represent our nation's credentials. It's nothing but they're nothing but good, and God bless their families. It's hard to find anyone today that's willing to serve this country outright for the purpose of service, selfless service. And when you find young people, middle-aged and older people that do that, I always say we should hit our knees and thank God and give them our greatest respect and all of our love.
Right. I completely agree, sir. And our thoughts and our prayers are certainly with the families of those fallen young people. General, the guys here on the show just got back from Media Day last week. They're getting ready to gear up football again. And in our conversation that we released this week, you talked about your time at Southern Miss and the blue collar, hard work attitude that you had and all of your teammates. As a man that played the game, put in perspective the challenges that the new coaches face with, General.
Well, I don't think we've ever had a situation such as we face right now. With the number of transfers we have, the nature of the game is rapidly changing as we speak. Brand new head coach, new staff. You throw all this word "new" into a pot. You try to cook it so it comes together, and it's going to be hard. It's going to take. But the fact is, situations like this, in the end, it's not about the coach. It's not about the staff. It's about a few players on that team that decide to step up, become leaders, take charge, influence their teammates, and lead from the front by example. So that's what it's going to take. Coach Anderson obviously has the credentials, and he can put it all out there. But unless some of these kids, with that handful of transfers and everything else, unless some of them step up and say, follow me, it's going to be a tough go.
General, this is something that I find fascinating when I speak to particularly younger Southern Miss fans or younger sports fans in general, because the landscape the way it is now, there's a lot of guys with gray hair that are getting out of the athletic business, whether it's coaching or athletic directing or whatever. They're just saying, all these changes, I'm going to the house. I'm done with it. Younger people generally have the reaction of, well, it's not that big of a deal, and you older guys just need to go ahead and go home anyway. And I'm interested to get your take on that. Why do generally younger people not seem to be so affected by all these changes as us older guys?
I think that this generation, this younger generation, unlike what some of my friends say, I think they have a unique determination, a focus. I truly believe that this generation is probably more comfortable with change than my generation. And the problem with that is, if you're not comfortable with change, the constant changing dynamics among you, in a short period of time, and if you fight it, you're going to become totally irrelevant. And so I kind of err on the side of these young kids. They're a lot more comfortable with the changing environment than us older guys are, and in the end, they're going to make it a heck of a lot more relevant as we move forward. So I'm in their corner. I believe in them. I truly believe that no matter what this changing environment develops within athletics, at the end of the day, at USM, because fundamentally we're blue collar tough guys, we're going to land on our feet, and I guarantee we will.
Well, you just put a smile on young Dima Mixon's face here that the General has confidence in your generation, Dima.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really have much confidence in my generation. But
I do.
I'm glad to hear it because, I mean, the generation I know wants to sit at home and hope everybody else solves the world's problems, and that's just not who I want to be. So, but I wanted to ask you, General, and it was kind of on those same lines. Obviously, your credentials precede you and all those things, and I'm just curious on, and this is probably a really broad question, but how much have you seen this country, shift, even in the past 10 years? And you can, tie it back into the generation stuff we're talking about. But it's just my feeling that, and we were talking about the young service members who gave their life over in the war in Iran, right? And that's currently going on. But I just wonder about that American spirit anymore. I don't know. It's just something that I just have a fear about, especially with my generation going up, that, people who maybe don't, serve in the military, maybe people who don't do these things. I just wanted to hear your thoughts on that.
Well, I was a youngster during the 60s, and at that time, my older brother, my parents, they all saw the country in a similar vein that you just described. And I believe that the center will always hold in this country. We'll go through ebbs and we'll go through flows, struggle, challenges and success, and even some failures. But as long as we the people keep this nation as one nation under God, as long as we keep it a nation under God, I think in the end it's going to be okay. We're going to go through challenges. I mean, it's growing pains. I mean, we just turned 250 years old. In so many ways, if you just sort of step back for a second and say, okay, I'm going to wash away all the problems right now and try to identify the top 10 things that are really neat and going on that are emerging and going to be super down the road. You know, the glass is half full. It's not half empty. And I just think right now, again, I'll reiterate, as long as we're one nation under God, the center will hold, and we're growing up. We're growing up. We're going to be 500 years old one day, I hope, and we'll be different than we are now. We're different now than what we were World War I, World War II. I have faith. I have faith in people, and I happen to know, having been around the world many, many times, that the American public, the American spirit, will always prevail. And if anyone questions that, I'll just throw this at you. 9/11. Look what happens. 9/11. You wonder why there hasn't been another 9/11. Well, because the bad guys know that, you know, we can squabble, we can fight, we can disagree over here, but you throw a punch at us, we come together and we hunt you down, we let the dogs out.
When it comes to sports, though, General, there seems to be this trend that, you know, everybody gets a trophy. Nobody wants to get their feelings hurt. Nobody wants to compete for positions. They just quit teams and go to another team. And I think there's going to be some permanent scarring in the sports landscape long term over these type of attitudes now. What say you?
That's a great question. I think, and I'll go, you know, another point I guess on, I think that the way we deal with that more than anything else is family. I think that I tell parents all the time at USM when they come in and their child's considering come to our university, I remind them that good parents have good kids. It's time-tested, can't argue. Good parents have good kids. And out there's a lot of good parents. It's more good parents than less than that. And as long as that keeps pushing and pulling and moving, I think we're going to be okay. Yeah, too many trophies going out sort of attitude about things. But at the end of the day, I think that generation after generation passes down certain lessons. I just hope that the best of the lessons are adopted and they permeate and carry on through.
General Hammond sat down with me. We released it Thursday, an hour-long interview like you've probably never heard him before. He talks about his life upcoming, his narrow escape from the 9/11 attacks, and the great career that he's had since. General, it's always an honor to have you on the show, sir, and we thank you very much and hope that everyone will enjoy the extended interview with you.
You guys take care of each other. Thank God for your program and for our wonderful listening audience. Go Eagles.
Thank you, sir. General Jeff Hammond, there is true American hero. Lives right here in Hattiesburg.
It's radio, and I want to stand up and salute.
Well, yeah, he is quite an impressive man. All right, we'll be back. Dima is producing this baby and hasn't missed a lick. Let's go.
Yet. Hasn't missed a lick yet.
And a little smoke on the water.
You're tuned in to the Eagle Hour. The Eagle Hour. Southern Miss to the top.
Welcome back to the SuperTalk Eagle Hour. Bob Getty, Kelly Sander, Dima Mixon, producer Dima Mixon. I've been demoted. I'm over on the other side of the desk now, and Dima's, of course, doing a great job.
Well, you told me it'd be an extra $10,000 a show.
Kelly didn't.
Oh, Kelly didn't know. Okay.
First segment of the show today was sponsored by our good friends over at Movie Star Restaurant, where for 25 years they've been serving the best meals anywhere in the Pine Belt. That hasn't changed. I ate there Friday night. It was delicious.
And you can eat a lot of ice cream.
You can eat all the ice cream you want, Kelly. You're a sick man. Second segment was sponsored by Eagle Tire West out on Highway 98 West. That's where you find Matt Warren and his great family and all the people that make Eagle Tire and Eagle Tire West such a special group of businesses here in Hattiesburg. And we certainly hope that you'll do business with great local folks like Eagle Tire. And thirdly, I want to mention D-Bat down on Hardy Street. Luke Reynolds, general manager there. State-of-the-art baseball, softball training facility, adult training for adults of every sport, and a pro shop and all kinds of summer camps, Kelly Santa.
Air-conditioned comfort, and you talk about spick and span. Do you know what that means? That term means, Dima?
Not your front yard?
No. Spick and span was a cleaning product.
Mr. Clean.
Right, back in the 50s and 60s. So anything that was meticulous, clean, pristine.
Greatest Halloween costume
Prestige
of all.
Worldwide? Is that what it is?
No, pristine.
Oh,
Pristine.
sorry. My bad.
Greatest costume of all time was when Scott Berry came to trick-or-treat at the Pete dressed as Mr. Clean. It was beautiful.
And it didn't take much, did it?
It didn't take much at all, no. It didn't take much at all. Only Scott would do that, Scott
He
Berry.
just needed a white T-shirt and blue jeans, and he was good to go.
And the earring, right?
The earring. I don't picture Scott with an earring much, but nevertheless. All right, Dima Mixon, you were at basketball practice today, and you're an optimistic young man. Let's hear about it.
Yeah, you'll be seeing some stuff come out. If you follow me on Twitter and all those things, you'll see some stuff come out. Hopefully this afternoon, if I can get back to the office and write. But yeah, no, I watched the team. You know, they're bigger. They seem faster. They seem a little bit more physical. I still question whether or not they're going to be able to shoot the three ball really well. But you know, Jay Ladner's just gushing over Elliott Tulip, and I know we've talked about him on this show. Man, can he shoot the ball? It is something to see. And so that seems to be their guy, when they're in a pickle and they need some points, that guy can come in and shoot the basketball. But they got some big size. I have the roster in my car. Of course, I don't have it right in front of me. But they got a guy out of Germany, 7 foot, 235 to play center. I think he moves a lot better than Izzy did. No offense to Izzy. I just think he moves better than him. I think if they could tap into his strength a little bit, with his arms and his body mass, he could be really good in the center. Their guards seem to be decent enough. And then obviously Tavares, whenever he gets back, he'll add, a nice little boost there. And then their forwards are big, tall guys, 6'8", 6'7". I mean, it's a very tall, physically demanding group. And you just hope they can kind of just put it all together. He kind of gave us a little preview also of some non-conference games. He mentioned Iowa State. He mentioned Oregon State, a road game at Oregon State. So that's pretty cool. Tulane here in Hattiesburg.
That's dope.
A couple other ones, Grambling, Jackson State. He mentioned that he thought their non-conference schedule last year was really good, but the problem was they're on the road so much. So he wanted to get some non-conference home games at Reed Green Coliseum. Also did confirm the source that I had a couple days ago when I mentioned on the show, William Carey game not happening between the schools. So that is something to note.
Did he say why? Did he give you any explanation?
Well, there is probably an explanation. It's just, kind of, I don't know if we can say. Yeah.
Okay.
And any team in the Sun Belt, in order to help make financial ends meet, are going to have to make these big road trips to Iowa State and Oregon State. Yeah. So, I mean, the Eagles are not going to be alone in that venture.
One thing that I thought y'all would find funny, he said of our 16 players, 12 of them are new. I mean, it's just a whole new team. But I did ask him about the 4-game road swing because, when I asked Keith Gill about it, he said, well, if we hear from our ADs and head coaches that they don't like it, we'll go away from it. And I said, okay, Jay, here's the camera. Why don't you tell Keith Gill that you're done with, the road swings? And he leaned in. He said, I do not like the road trips.
I don't know anybody. How could you?
That's stupid.
Yeah, I know that's always used by leadership as well. If we hear any different, we'll change it. But you never seem to hear anybody that likes those ideas.
I don't think Jay gets credit enough. He seems to be very good at working this portal and retooling his team every year, doesn't he, Dima?
I think so. I mean, certainly last year, if Tavares wouldn't have gotten hurt, that team might have won 20, 24 games. That team, especially with what they did late. And, he's just had this knack of finding these guys. He makes the joke that, come to Southern Miss will make you a millionaire because he finds the knack of
somewhere else.
Right. But,
Something I don't understand, though, and this is an NCAA question, but when Blake Anderson was asked at Media Day about when practice actually starts, when you look at it, they only have about 3.5 or 4 weeks to get ready for the first game. Mm-hmm. And, of course, there's big money on the line every game in football. All right, so 4 weeks you got ready to get for the first game. Baseball, they come back after Christmas. They start about the 15th of January and begin about Valentine's Day, about February. So there's another 4 weeks to get ready for. Basketball, they don't ever stop. Yeah. I mean,
they get a couple 4 weeks off, 4 or 6 weeks off. Their last practice is next Thursday, I believe, and they don't come back till middle of September. So
okay, but I mean, they've been practicing all summer.
He said July and June and July are basically like our spring camp, if you were thinking for football. Because think about it, the season ends in April now. So they don't have a true time to have that summer camp or spring camp, so it's in the summer, so it just kind of looks combobulated. But you're right, I mean, they never stop.
I sense from you there's real reason to be optimistic. This could be a fun year.
Well, we'll see. I still want to see that. It's kind of like basketball. You want to see these guys against somebody else and not running around against each other. But I mean, they certainly look the part. If you're just, I was down there for about 30 minutes and watched the end of practice. That we were allowed to watch, and certainly they look good.
And is this the last year of Jay's contract?
Yes.
Yeah. So and see, I don't know what'll happen after this year with Jay. As I see him, maybe if he chooses not to coach, I see him staying on at the university in some capacity.
I hope he chooses to coach and he has an opportunity to continue to coach here.
If he wants to.
Yeah. Hey, real quick, how long have we got?
3-4 minutes.
Okay. Was with Christian Ostrander this morning, and I know this news is out. I'm not sure if the school has released it, but he confirmed on tape this morning that Dustin Dickerson is coming back as the infield coach. And I just wonder, he seemed really happy about that. Kelly, it would seem to me that a kid with that pedigree grew up in a major league coach's house. Tremendous college talent. This is a win-win. This can't be a bad thing.
And if nothing else, it allows him to there's obviously going to be a gap in his life because he decided that his playing days were over. You got a significant other, I'm sure, that had some input on that as well. So it would allow Dustin to get on the field to see how he is as a coach, see if he likes coaching. His dad was an excellent teacher, was a coach. To see if he likes, and that Coach Ostrander has given him now that opportunity to develop those skills, or at least try it to where he'll go, I've tried it, don't like it, but it fills that gap, and he's still young enough to where he's certainly relevant to the players because some of the guys on the team may have played with him.
Yeah, Dima, no doubt these kids will love playing for Dustin Dickerson.
Yes, and you hope he just channels that energy that he had here, that kind of high and mighty. Everybody knows what, Dustin Dickerson brought. You hope he channels that a little bit to kind of hone that in as a coach because you certainly don't want, your whole team, getting the traits that he sometimes had. I'm trying to say it nicely, but certainly, and I'm sure he will, is all I'm saying. I'm just saying that certainly you hope it's him as a coach and as an infield coach. Right. But I agree. I mean, I think it's awesome. Anytime you see former players come back here to coach, I think that's an amazing testament to the program.
He was also real high on this other man that he's brought in that was a former coach at Mississippi State. And implied there could be yet another one. Could be another name pop up. But Dickerson, I'm extremely happy to see him back.
And if you don't think the expectations for next year are as high as they were this year,
trust me, they are.
And let me say this about that. The top 16 baseball college sports writers put together a list yesterday, and it was released the much too early College World Series baseball field last year. Four of the 16 sports writers had Southern Miss
in the World Series.
In the World Series field next year.
Yeah.
So,
well, when you think about the rotation, they're returning. I mean, if you just think about that, I mean, they probably have, if not the best top 5 rotation. I mean, all 3 of these guys are on Team USA, and they're all 3 coming back. Yeah. Not to mention all the other pitchers you're going to have, and you just hope this lineup kind of finds themselves in fall ball.
And if you have any doubt about the love and dedication that man has for this university, he told me the kind of money he turned down. He had an opportunity to go to Texas, LSU. He's not coaching for money. He's coaching to get Southern Miss in Omaha. And I think it just burns at him every day of his life till they get back. I really do. I really do.
Well, I don't know. How many years have you made reservations and had to cancel them, Bob?
I don't want to talk about that.
That paper chain's pretty thick right now, though.
We'll be right back.
Southern Miss to the top. To the top. You're tuned in to the Eagle Hour.
Okay, welcome back. Look, we know that. What are you trying to do to me there? He's trying to hide the copy from me. This is why I don't sit on this side.
Where's the?
Did you do this to Dima?
Where's the Eagle Hour? You turned off my
gosh, here we go. Forest Health. You know what I put up with around here. Remind you that keeping up with your favorite team is fun this time of the year, but don't forget about the most important player. Be like Kelly. Get an annual physical. Work out.
What just happened?
Eat right.
What is going on?
Make your health be as good as it can be. Forest Health can help you with expert medical care closer to home.
Well, about 4 of those 5.
Oh, sorry.
About 4 of those 5 I haven't been as attentive to as I need to.
All right, home repair, home remodeling, home construction. Kelly doesn't do this either. Everything you need for your next project, home, lawn, or garden is available at MCS Home Center in Bellevue. MCS is Hattiesburg's new improvement home center. Local folks eager to help you. Have you ever painted a room, Santa?
No.
Have you ever cut a yard?
Well, like with a push mower?
Yeah.
No, not with a push mower.
How about weed eated?
Smoke? Well, never mind.
No. How about an expansion, like an improvement to your home? All the things that they do at MCS Home Center.
I've had on my trousers have been expanded several times.
Move on. Kelly is not the person to talk to about that. And also, I want to thank Genesis of Hattiesburg. Kevin Mullins is a great friend. Mr. Grubb's a huge supporter of Southern Miss, and we're very grateful to them. The last segment of our show every day is sponsored by another wonderful friend. Kelly, where would you go to sell gold and silver?
Marty Vick.
Why, Kelly?
Is who well, first of all, he's got great taste.
Because he's married to Cindy.
Yes. But
I've never understood that, but go ahead.
He's the guy that, he knows what he's doing.
He
right?
does.
Lots of times when you get into kind of those niche markets, you don't really know who to go to or who to see. But he's been in the gold and silver market a long time, and he's actually a decent guy.
Have you ever heard that word niche before?
Nope.
Niche.
He was homeschooled though.
Can you define that for us? I'm a little confused. I went to Southern Miss, so you got to talk slowly.
Niche, a very small piece of the general public.
Oh, okay.
With a special interest.
And I'm a graduate.
You matriculated at Southern Miss. Edema homeschooled with our tulip guy.
Yeah,
right?
The basketball player.
Sure.
Was he there?
He was.
Can he shoot?
Well, he was kind of on the sidelines, not practicing what I saw. But Jay is, gushing over him. So
yeah, but did he remember how he torched you every time in those homeschool games?
I'm sure he doesn't even know.
Did he badly torch you?
Well, we split most of the games with them. So.
Yeah.
No, you personally. I'm saying.
No, I locked him down.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
He never scored against Denver. Did you know that?
Yeah, not a point.
All right, the SuperTalk Eagle Hour podcast. You can hear this foolishness again later today if you choose. I can't imagine
why would you want to
why
re-listen
you would
to
want
this?
to, but in case you do, it's on Apple, Audible, Spotify, Stitcher, TuneIn, YouTube, Alexa, or Siri.
It's sometimes on there.
Coming up later on this week, we're going to get to talk to.
Let that go, are you?
We're going to talk to Eric Booth Sr., former running back and return man for Southern Miss football. His son was just drafted by the Baltimore Orioles with the 7th overall pick.
Eric's very happy about that, too, I'm sure.
Yes, I'm sure. So we'll get to talk with Coach Booth, but Eric Booth. And Christy Meeks will be on the program a little bit later this week as well. So former softball coach at Pearl River, just won a national championship, and unfortunately unfortunately for us, good for her family, she has taken the associate head coaching position at South Alabama. So now,
the Sun Belt.
Yeah, so she will be coaching in the Sun Belt against our women's softball team here at Southern Miss. So both of those people will be on the show a little bit later on this week.
News and notes, Dima?
Oh, Bob, we're in the summer. I don't know.
Yeah,
You keep looking at me for that. I will say next Tuesday, make sure you have a notification on your phone for the show next Tuesday, which is the 28th. Phil Steele, writer and publisher of the College Football Preview magazine, is going to join us for an extended interview next Tuesday. So that'll be really fun.
That'll be fun.
That'll be one to listen to live.
And where did he predict us to finish?
Second to last, I believe, in the Sun Belt. So.
Well,
in the West.
In the West.
Maybe the guys use that as motivation.
I believe in the power poll, they were second to last in the country. So.
Yeah, maybe that's motivation.
We sure.
Well, Blake Anderson said we're going to prove you wrong.
Right. Yeah. I mean, here's the deal, and I think he understands that. Like most preseason people who are predicting all these things are just not going to be very high on them because they just don't know.
Yeah.
And certainly we don't know much about them either. But we don't really know much about all these other teams in the Sun Belt.
Let me promote a couple things real quickly. Kelly did a masterful job at Media Day and brought us back. I think we have 10 coaches, 2 bowl representatives, 2 Southern Miss players, and the commissioner. We have interviews with all of those people. We're going to put all that together in the next week, and we're going to announce a Sun Belt football countdown that's going to take place over a period of about 4 weeks leading into football season. So we're going to hear from every football coach in the league. We're going to hear from the commissioner. We're going to hopefully have an extended interview during the course of that with the new Southern Miss football coach as well. 2
games in particular that I'm especially looking forward to, and I know you guys and a lot of other fans are looking forward to going to Tulane, right, for the Will Hall rematch. But I'm also looking forward to the Troy game because if I'm not mistaken, that's a weeknight game. And it's in Hattiesburg?
No,
it's at Troy. Okay, at Troy. But that's going to be a midweek game. So that'll be some good national attention.
All right, that's coming up. Also, if you get a chance, go to Spotify or Apple or YouTube. You'll hear a great interview with General Hammond. He's a magnificent man and fascinating interview. All right, Dima, good job. Not a hitch.
Not a hitch. Yeah.
Southern Miss.
To the top.
Time keeps on slipping into the future. I want to fly like an eagle to the sea.
SuperTalk Mississippi Media Production.